Welcome back, everybody. We're diving into something pretty monumental today.
Yeah.
Plato's Symposium.
Oh, a classic.
I know, right? But I think a lot of people hear that title and they're like, ugh, philosophy, love. Like, what am I going to learn?
Right.
But I think that by the end of this, you guys are really going to be reevaluating everything you thought you knew about love.
Yeah. The Symposium is so much more than just like a straight definition of love. It's
Yeah.
like this whole bunch of viewpoints.
Yeah.
Like we're getting to peek in on this dinner party
Oh,
and all these like brilliant Athenian minds are just like hashing it out.
So before we even get into the different viewpoints,
Okay.
set the scene for us.
Right.
Where, when, who are these people?
Okay. So picture it. Athens, 416 BC.
Okay.
The poet Agathon.
Well, yeah.
He's throwing this like awesome feast because he just won this big competition for his tragedy.
Okay.
But instead of just, partying,
Right.
they're like, okay, let's each give a speech praising Eros.
Eros, the god of love.
Yeah.
So like a philosophical, like roast battle, but with togas.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I love it. But it's not just the format that's so interesting.
Right.
It's like you said, Plato brings together all these different types of people.
Right. So we've got playwrights,
Right.
politicians, physicians.
Okay.
We even have a comedic playwright, Aristophanes.
Oh, yeah. Aristophanes.
Known for his, shall we say, unconventional humor.
So we know this isn't like a real transcript of this party, right?
Not quite.
How do we even know about this?
So our source is Apollodorus.
Apollodorus, okay.
And he heard about it from Aristodemus, who was a follower of Socrates, who was at the party.
Oh, wow.
So it's a story within a story, which makes it even more juicy.
Multiple layers of storytelling already. I'm in. But let's get to the speeches themselves.
Okay.
Who kicks things off and what's their take on love?
So the first voice we hear is Phaedrus.
Okay, Phaedrus. I know the name.
And sometimes he can be a little, flowery with his language.
Like the sophists?
Like the sophists, exactly.
Clearly.
But he makes this really powerful argument that love is this ancient and driving force that inspires us to do great things, noble deeds.
Instead of just like saying that, though.
Yeah.
He uses some pretty like heavy-hitting examples.
He does, like from Greek mythology.
Oh, yeah.
So he brings up Alcestis.
Alcestis.
Who sacrifices herself for her husband.
Right.
And Achilles, who, goes through all this danger to avenge Patroclus.
Right.
So right away, he's saying love is more than just personal.
Right.
It's this motivator for heroes that even the gods favor.
He even kind of throws a little shade at some famous poets, too, right?
He does. He criticizes, the big names, Homer, Aeschylus.
Right.
And he's using their own words against them to say that love is stronger than fear or duty, even.
So it's a really, like, strong argument.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting to me is that he's not just talking about men.
Right.
He explicitly states that love between women is just as worthy of praise.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily a common idea back then.
Was it not?
Not really.
Okay, so that's interesting.
And that's what's so cool about the Symposium is it really makes us think about our assumptions about ancient Greece.
Right.
And Phaedrus even says that the gods favor the love that's returned.
Oh, wow.
More than the original feeling.
Well,
because the lover is of a nobler nature, he says.
Okay, so the person being loved is more divine than the person giving love.
Right. It's more divine to be loved.
Wow, okay. That's really interesting.
It is.
And it kind of makes you think about the power dynamic within a relationship.
Absolutely.
And it's a good setup for our next speaker.
Yes.
Pausanias.
Who
really tries to, like, break down love into different types.
Right. He tries to categorize.
This probably started some arguments at this party.
Yeah, probably. Definitely.
So tell me about how he breaks it down.
So he talks about two different Aphrodites.
Okay.
So two types of love.
Okay.
Common love, which is like more physical, and then heavenly love, which is focused on like the soul and the intellect.
Okay, so he's already making people like choose a side here.
Yeah, but he's saying it's not about who you love.
Well,
it's how you love. That matters.
I like that.
Yeah.
And this is also where he gets the listener to really check their own bias.
Right.
Because he brings up how differently male love was viewed across different Greek regions.
Exactly.
Even he compares it to other cultures.
Yes, he does.
And he even connects those views to political systems, right?
Exactly. He even says, like, tyrants didn't like male love.
Okay.
Because it made these strong bonds that could, like, threaten their power.
Interesting. So the way that a society views love is kind of reflection of its values and structures, right?
It is.
So what kind of love is he advocating for?
He's very clear that it's a love based on virtue and mutual respect.
Okay.
And like wanting to improve yourself.
So love makes you a better person.
It does. It pushes you to be better.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have these two speeches.
Yes.
And we've already gone from love as like this heroic thing to like love making you a better person.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're already getting complex here.
Very complex.
Who comes next?
So up next, we have a totally different perspective.
Okay. Eryximachus.
Eryximachus, okay. And he is what is it?
He's a physician.
Oh, he's a doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does a doctor have to say about love? I'm thinking, like very clinical.
Yeah, instead of dissecting hearts, literally, he dissects the concept of love.
Interesting.
And he sees love as this force that's working in everything.
So not just between people.
Right. In the entire cosmos. Okay, interesting.
From physical health to our mental well-being.
So he's like zooming out
to
the big picture.
Yes.
And saying that love is connected to this universal harmony.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And he uses his like medical background.
He does.
To make this point.
Right. He says like love is like medicine.
Okay.
It restores balance, harmony.
So disease is a lack of love.
In ways.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting. This is Plato, though.
Yes.
Things are about to get weird, right?
Of course.
Who's next?
Next up, we have Aristophanes.
Oh, this is what I've been waiting for.
The comic playwright.
So he's known for his humor.
Yes.
And he's got a wild origin story for love. So lay it on me.
Okay, so picture this.
Right.
Humans weren't like us at all.
Okay.
We were round.
Round. Yes.
With 4 arms and 4 legs.
Hold on. 4 arms and 4 legs.
And 2 faces.
2 faces.
Yes, sir.
Sounds mythological.
Pure Aristophanes.
Okay.
So these humans, they were strong and ambitious. They challenged the gods.
Oh, so they got a little too big for their britches?
They did.
And so what happened?
Zeus was like, nope.
Of course.
Splits them in half.
That's right.
Literally cuts them down the middle.
So that's why we're looking for our other half.
Exactly.
Okay, so love isn't about just finding someone that completes you.
Right.
It's about finding the missing piece of yourself.
Yes.
Okay, that just like raised the stakes.
It does.
4 speeches in, 4 wildly different ideas of love.
That's just the beginning.
My brain is already like exploding, but we're not done yet.
Not even close.
We've heard from the like passionate advocate, the like logician, the healer,
right,
the comedian. Who's next?
Up next is the host himself.
Oh.
Okay, Agathon.
So he's going to give a speech on love?
Yeah.
He's a poet.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining like beautiful imagery.
Oh, it's like this ode to love.
Okay.
He's praising his youth, beauty, power.
Okay.
Love is the source of art and creation.
Beautiful.
He's saying that love dwells in like softness.
Right.
Grace.
Okay. And doesn't he even throw in some like moral qualities?
He does. He says love is just temperate, courageous, and wise.
So he's basically like presenting love as this perfect being.
He is, like, with all the best qualities like humans are striving for.
I bet Socrates is about to challenge this.
I bet he is.
But that's a story for part 2.
Yes.
Okay, so last time we left off with Agathon.
Yes.
About to give his big speech on love.
Right.
He's a poet.
Yes.
So I'm expecting something pretty flowery.
He does not disappoint.
Okay.
It's like this beautifully crafted ode to love.
Okay.
Praising him for his youth.
Yeah.
His beauty, his power.
He even throws in some, like, moral qualities, too, right?
He does, yeah.
He's not just saying that love is beautiful.
Right.
He's saying love is...
He says love is just temperate.
Yeah.
Courageous, wise.
So he's basically presenting love as this, like, perfect being.
Yeah. He is, like, the ideal...
Yeah, and I...
Possessing all these virtues that we, like, strive for.
I have this feeling that Socrates is going to challenge this.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he never lets a good philosophical debate just, like, pass him by.
Of course not.
How does he do it?
Well, you know, Socrates.
Yeah.
He's got his own way of doing things.
He's very subtle.
Very subtle, yeah.
So he doesn't just, like, disagree with Agathon?
He starts asking these very pointed questions.
Okay.
So he starts by being like, okay, Agathon, you're saying that love is beautiful.
Yeah.
But if love desires beauty...
Right.
Doesn't that mean he must lack beauty?
Oh,
Because you only want what you don't have.
Right.
It's that classic Socratic method, just kind of poking holes.
I can just imagine Agathon being like flustered a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
But Socrates, he's not done yet.
No, he keeps going. He's like, okay, so if love desires beauty, and beauty is a type of good, then love also desires good.
Okay.
So love is not inherently good.
So he's like turning the whole thing on its head.
Exactly.
That's a pretty like major departure.
Yeah, very different than what we've heard so far.
From the other speeches.
Yeah, very different.
And then he goes on to tell this story.
Yes.
About this woman named Diotima.
Diotima, yeah.
So who is this Diotima?
She's not physically at the party.
Okay.
But she's very important in the Symposium.
Okay.
So Socrates says that she taught him everything he knows.
Oh, wow.
About love.
Okay, so another layer to the story.
Yeah.
What kind of wisdom does she give Socrates?
So she tells him that love is not a god.
Oh.
But a demon.
A demon.
Yeah.
And that word...
Like, is that like a demon?
It had different, like, connotations back then.
Okay.
So in Greek mythology, demons were these spirits, like between mortals and gods.
Okay.
So not necessarily bad.
Right.
But they're powerful.
Okay.
A little unpredictable.
Interesting.
So love is this force that connects us to something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly. She's saying love comes from this union of plenty and poverty. And it's always looking for beauty and wisdom.
And it never gets there.
Right.
It's just like this constant state of yearning.
It is always striving, seeking.
Yeah, I feel that.
And then she introduces this really famous idea from the Symposium.
Okay.
The ladder of love.
I've heard of that, but like, I don't really know what it means.
So picture it like climbing a mountain.
Okay.
So each step takes you higher to this like deeper understanding of love. So it starts with loving one beautiful body.
Okay, so like that's, you know.
Yeah, like the typical kind of love.
Like what we see in movies and songs.
Right, exactly.
But where do we go from there?
So then you start to realize that beauty isn't limited to just one person.
Okay.
You start to appreciate beauty in all bodies.
So you're like expanding your view.
Yeah.
What's next?
Then you go even deeper and you start to love the beauty of souls.
Okay, so it's not just about physical appearance anymore.
It's about like connecting on a deeper level.
Intellect, spirit.
Exactly.
So we're moving beyond the senses here.
We are.
And it keeps going.
It does. So then you appreciate the beauty in laws, institutions. We start to see how these can like create harmony and justice.
So it's like societal love.
It is. It's about like improving society.
Okay, so it's not just about personal relationships anymore.
It's about like the world we live in.
Okay.
And then finally, the top of the mountain.
Okay, top of the mountain.
You reach this point where you can contemplate the eternal, unchanging form of beauty.
Hold on. The form of beauty.
Yeah. This is
I need you to break this down for me.
Okay, so Plato's theory of forms.
Yeah.
It's a little out there, but basically the idea is everything in the physical world is like a copy of this perfect eternal form.
Okay, so the form of beauty is like the blueprint.
The blueprint,
for everything that's beautiful.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so Diotima is saying once you can understand this, you've kind of gone beyond just experiencing beauty.
Right.
You're understanding like its very essence.
So love is the path.
It's a path.
To knowledge.
Yeah.
To truth.
To truth.
About the universe.
Exactly.
Okay, my mind is officially blown.
I know, right?
But the party isn't over.
Nope. We've got more coming.
I know it's about to get crazy.
Because things are getting very deep.
Yeah.
Very philosophical.
Right.
And then in walks Alcibiades.
Hold on, Alcibiades.
Yes, the one and only.
The Athenian general. The politician.
Yes. He comes in, totally drunk.
Oh, boy.
With a flute girl.
Of course.
And he immediately starts professing his undying love.
Not for the host, Agathon. For Socrates.
Socrates. Wow, I did not see that coming.
It's a twist.
So Socrates and Alcibiades, what an interesting pair.
Very interesting.
So I'm imagining this creates some tension.
A lot of tension.
To Socrates. Well, Socrates being Socrates.
Yeah.
He's very smooth.
Okay.
Very wise.
Right.
So he kind of deflects Alcibiades' advances.
Okay.
And just kind of steers the conversation.
So even drunk.
Right.
And in love.
Yeah.
Socrates can't be swayed.
Yeah. He keeps it philosophical.
From a good debate.
Exactly.
That's impressive.
It is, but Alcibiades is captivated.
Okay.
He starts describing Socrates as this, like, satyr-like figure, unassuming on the outside.
Right.
But he's got this, like, inner beauty. He compares him to these statues of Silenus.
Okay.
Which, like, were ugly on the outside.
Right.
But they had images of gods inside.
So Socrates' true beauty is in his wisdom.
It's his mind.
And virtue.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a big statement coming from Alcibiades, who, you know, is known for his...
Right, his looks.
Charming good looks, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like this whole other layer of the ladder of love.
Right, like...
You could be drawn to someone for their, like, physical beauty.
Right.
But also recognize their inner beauty.
And want something more.
Love is complicated.
It is.
But the story doesn't end there, right? I mean, we left off
right.
with this party descending into chaos.
Exactly.
What happens?
So right as Alcibiades is wrapping up, this whole group of revelers, they burst in.
Of course.
And the party just gets crazy.
So much for the ladder of love.
Yeah, they all took a tumble.
Back down to earth.
Back down to earth.
So they're drinking.
Yeah, they're singing, dancing.
It's a full-blown bacchanal.
It is.
Wow, okay.
So it's like this reminder that even, like, the deepest philosophical ideas can be, you know, overtaken by just...
life.
Life,
But Socrates is still trying to keep things focused on love.
He actually gets into this debate with Alcibiades and Agathon and even Aristophanes.
So even in the middle of a crazy party, they're still, like, debating.
They're still thinking.
Philosophy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It is. It's impressive.
But eventually, even Socrates,
he gets tired.
He's got to give in.
He does.
So what happens?
Everyone falls asleep.
The party's over.
The party's over.
I mean, it's not the grand finale I was expecting.
It's not.
But it's kind of fitting, right?
Yeah, because it's like this reminder that love, it's part of life. It's something we celebrate, we struggle with.
Right.
And sometimes it just leaves us exhausted.
It's not always about these big ideas. Sometimes it's about just embracing the chaos. So the Symposium doesn't really give us, like, one answer.
It doesn't.
About love is.
It's more like giving us all these different viewpoints so we can think about how it shows up in our own lives.
So after listening to all these speeches, what stands out to you?
It's hard to choose.
It is hard to choose.
But what I find really interesting is that each speaker, they're all so different.
Right. They come from such different
background
viewpoints.
Yeah.
But they're all asking these same questions, like, what is love?
Yeah.
What's it for?
Right.
How does it, like, impact our lives?
And these questions are just as important today as they were back then.
Yeah.
Which is what makes the Symposium so timeless.
It is.
It's not just...
It's not just a history lesson.
Right. It's not like a dusty old book.
It's like a conversation.
Yeah. That's still happening about something.
About something.
So universal.
Yeah. It makes us question our assumptions.
Yeah.
About love.
Makes us think about the different ways it can be.
Yeah.
And just, like, embrace the mystery of it all.
So even though the party's over, the conversation
keeps going,
continues.
Yeah.
So now I want to ask you,
okay,
what would your speech
on
love?
That's a big question on life.
I don't know. I think
it's something to think about.
It is.
I think the biggest takeaway from the Symposium is that the journey to understanding love it never ends.
Never ends.
It's a process.
It's a process.
Of self-discovery, of exploration, of connection.
Beautifully said.
And on that note, we'll leave you all to continue your own deep dives into the mysteries of love.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you. All right, so where did we leave off?
Alcibiades just confessed his love for Socrates.
Right in the middle of this, like, high-minded philosophical party?
Yeah, kind of threw a wrench in the whole thing.
It did.
So what does Socrates do?
Yeah.
Well, he's Socrates.
Yeah.
So he's very wise, you know?
Right.
And he just very gently deflects Alcibiades' advances.
So even drunk?
Yeah, like totally smitten.
Socrates is still...
Yeah, he's just so committed.
Committed to the philosophy.
It's a reason, yeah, even with temptation right there.
That's impressive self-control.
It really is, but Alcibiades, he's still captivated by Socrates.
Okay.
And he starts describing him as this, like, satyr-like figure.
Well,
Yeah, like, unassuming on the outside.
Okay.
But hiding this, like, divine inner beauty.
Like one of those.
Yeah, like those statues of Silenus.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Ugly on the outside.
Right, but inside.
Inside.
There's a god.
Yeah, there's an image of a god.
So he's saying that Socrates' true beauty.
It's not about appearances.
Is in his mind.
His wisdom.
His virtue.
Exactly.
Which is a pretty powerful statement coming from.
Right, because Alcibiades is known for
Alcibiades.
His charm, his looks.
Yeah.
But he's recognizing something deeper.
So even he can see.
It seems like it.
Past the first rung of that ladder of love.
Right.
Like, he's still looking for something more.
Yeah, it's like this reminder that love can be contradictory.
Right.
You can be attracted to someone.
Physically.
Yeah.
But still, like.
What more?
Want something more.
Yeah, something deeper.
But anyway, I think we left off with the party kind of getting out of control.
Yeah, it descends into chaos.
What happened?
So Alcibiades, he wraps up his speech.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, all these other revelers,
oh no,
they come bursting in.
Of course.
It turns into this like full-blown bacchanal.
Okay, so much for philosophy.
Yeah, everyone's drinking, singing, dancing.
It's a far cry from where we started.
It is, but even Socrates, he tries to keep the conversation going about love. He gets into this whole debate about tragedy and comedy.
Oh, wow.
With Alcibiades, Agathon, even Aristophanes.
So even in the middle of this.
Yeah, like wild party.
They're still talking about.
Can't stop thinking.
Big ideas.
Yeah, they love their philosophy.
They did. They really did.
But eventually, even Socrates, he has to give in.
I mean, he's human.
Yeah, so everyone
passes out.
Yeah, they all fall asleep.
The party's over.
The party is over.
Okay, it's not
the most
satisfying ending.
No, not really what you'd expect.
But it's also.
But I kind of like it.
Kind of perfect, right?
Yeah.
Because it reminds us that even
the greatest minds can't escape.
Right. They can't resist.
It's human nature.
Right. It's all part of life.
Yeah.
And love is messy.
It can be.
It's not always like these beautiful speeches. It's real life.
Real life. It's complicated.
The Symposium doesn't really give us like the answer
doesn't tell us
to what love is.
What it is. No.
It gives us like all these different perspectives.
A whole spectrum.
So we can think about
figure out what it means for ourselves.
Exactly.
So, any final thoughts?
You know, I think what's really cool about the Symposium is that it's like this conversation.
It's ongoing.
Yeah, it's still happening.
And it's about something.
About something so fundamental.
Being human.
Being human. And it makes us question everything we think we know.
Yeah.
About love.
About love.
And how it works.
Yeah, it's not just a history lesson.
No, it's
something we're all still figuring out.
Yeah, we are.
And I think on that note, we'll leave it there.
Sounds good.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the Symposium.
Thanks for having me.